Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. Today we are making dash ability in first person with field of view effects in Unreal Engine 5. So we have opened the first person project and we will go to the content drawer. In the blueprints folder, we will open our first person character blueprint. In the last video, we added wall run and jump of wall and left shift walk abilities. Today we will add dash ability. So I want my player to dash when I press E. So I'll right click here and look for keyboard event E. And we have this E key here. Now when the E key is pressed, I want my player to dash. Now we need a variable. So let's make a variable. It will be a boolean. Let's name it can dash. Compile it. By default it will be true, so we need to check this because by default we should be able to dash. Now compile it again and save it. Now we need to get this here, and I will hold B on my keyboard and click, so we get a branch and we check if we can dash. If we can dash, then the first thing that we want to do is immediately set this variable to false. This will be empty, so it will be false. It will prevent us from just pressing E again and again and just messing it up. So yeah. Now I want to get my character movement, and from the character movement we want to get velocity. We will need it later. So right here we will get the velocity. Now we need a new variable. Let's promote it to variable, and we will call it old velocity. We will need it later when we reset our variables. Now from the character movement again, let's get it again. We need another variable that will be ground friction. So let's type get ground friction, because when we are dashing we want the ground friction to be 0. So we will need this variable when we reset the variables later. So let's promote it to variable as well, and let's rename it to old ground friction. Now we want to set the ground friction, so let's get the ground friction again, get the character movement, and from there get the ground friction again. This time we are setting it, so let's set the ground friction. It will be 0, so our ground friction will be set to 0. Now I want to get our first person camera, and let's see where we are looking by getting forward vector. So we will get forward vector. This is the direction in which the camera is looking. I want to multiply this by some number. I will multiply it by a float, so let's convert the spin to float. I want to multiply it by 5000. You can try different numbers. This will be the velocity of our character movement. This will be the velocity that our character will have when we are dashing. So let's set the velocity of character movement to this one. Now I will need some space because here we will add some nodes for field of view effect later. So let's drag from here, and this seems nice. Let's add a delay node. This will be for how long that will be dashing, and by default 0.2 seconds seem nice to me. Now again, let's drag from here, leave some space because we will be doing something here later. And well, we don't need to drag just yet, wait. So let's get the character movement again. Now we need to reset the variables that we changed. So let's reset the ground friction, set ground friction to the old one and connect it. Also, let's set the velocity to the old one. And I also don't want to just be able to dash again right away after we just finished dashing. So let's add a cooldown. Make a new variable. This will be a float. I'll call it dash cooldown. This will be a float. Compile it so we can set it. This will be 2 seconds. I want to wait 2 seconds before being able to repeat dash before we can dash again. So let's get it and add a delay node here. So we will wait for dash cooldown and then we can dash again. So we will set the can dash variable to true again. So this is our dash ability right now without field of view effects. Let's see if it works, and then we will apply the field of view effects. Okay. So back to the viewport. Let's try to play it. If we press E, and if we press E again and again, well, it does wait for some time. Yeah. Well, so yeah, I think 2 seconds is good for the cooldown. So we cannot just keep dashing again and again very quickly. Alright, so now let's add the field of view effects. Before that, let's just select all of this and press C to comment. Let's say this is dash ability. Here is the blueprint for that again. Now let's organize these variables under a category for dash. So I will click any of these variables that we have for dash, and in the category I will type dash. Press enter. Now drop the remaining variables. Now this is under dash. Very nice. Now here I want to make a custom event which will be for starting field of view effect. So let's add a custom event and we will name it start FOV. Now we need more variables. Let's get one more variable. This will be has applied FOV. This will be a boolean. So by default it is false because by default we have not applied any field of view effects yet. We get it. Now we want to check if we have not yet applied FOV, so we can apply it. So for that we need to drag from here and look for not boolean. Then we can press B on our keyboard to get a branch and connect it. Then immediately we set this variable to true because we do not want to just do it again and again in a very short time and mess things up. So yeah, that's why we have this variable. Now we get the first person camera and we get field of view. Now we want to promote it to variable and call it old FOV. We will need it later. Now we need a timeline because we want to smoothly change the field of view of our camera. So let's add timeline. Let's name it FOV Timeline. Now we will double click to get inside it and length will be 0.1 seconds. I want to add a float track which we'll call alpha. And we need two keys here. So for the first key, the time will be 0 and value will be 0 as well. For the second key, the time will be 0.1 and value will be 1. That is our timeline. Now we need a lerp node as well. This will help us smoothly change the field of view along with the timeline. So we connect the alpha here. And we also get the old field of view. That will be A because we are going from this old field of view to a new field of view. We want to change the field of view by 10. So let's add a number to it. It will be 10 and this will be B. Alright, and now we need to get the first person camera again. Now we need to set the field of view. So when we are updating, we need to set the field of view. The output of the lerp node will be the input of the set field of view. Now we need a branch here and we need to check something. So we also need to reverse this, right? Let's connect it first. So yeah, we have this connected. Now if this timeline has been playing in reverse, which we can check from the direction. So if we just press equal, so we have this equal enum here. That is what we need. I want backward. So if our timeline has been playing in backward, that means it was reversed, and when it was completed, when it was finished, that is what when we want to check this. So when it was finished, if it was playing in backward, that means our field of view effect have been reversed. So we want to reset this variable. Set has applied field of view to false. Also, to trigger that, to actually reverse it, we need a new event. So let's look for a custom event. This will be stop field of view, stop FOV. We need to check it if we have applied FOV. Only then we want to be able to reverse it. If we have applied FOV, then we will reverse the timeline. And when the timeline finishes, if it was playing in backward, then we want to reset this variable. So we want to be able to apply the field of view again. That is why we have to reverse this variable, reset this variable. Now that is the blueprint for our field of view effect. Let's select it and proceed to comment, and let's type FOV effect events, enter. Let's drag it down a bit. Alright, that looks good. Let's go over it again. Let's see if it works. Compile, save, back to the viewport, play it. We'll press E. Oh yeah, we need to actually trigger these events. So here, where we left the space before the delay and after it. So before the delay, we want to start FOV. And after the delay, we want to stop FOV. Also, let's organize these variables. I will click it, and in the category, I will say field, let's just say FOV effect, and drop this here too. So now we have these variables also organized well. Let's see if it works. Compile, save, back to the viewport. If we press E, yes, so our field of view is changing. So now we have a dash ability with a field of view effect and a cooldown in first person in Unreal Engine 5. I actually like it. If you like it, please let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.